There is a very huge difference between what you know and what you believe. When you believe in something, it means you don't know. Because if you knew, you wouldn't have to believe it. You'd know it. Right? Just like I know that you are sitting in front of me, I don't need to believe it. In order to make people listen to them, monks and priests and religious leaders created stories. Lots and lots of stories. And the whole world got sidetracked into this entire world of make-believe. And they believe it, and they have faith in it, and they trust it. But it is not true knowledge and understanding. Similarly, political ideologies, company policies. There is a big difference between what you know and what you believe in. Consciousness cannot be just believed in. Because if you believe in it, it is nothing other than an idea in your head. It is one more story, one more mental construct in your head about how things work. Oh, I'm supposed to be part of consciousness and everything is consciousness. But do you know this? Can you ever experience that without using your mind, without using a train of thoughts? That's when you know. That's when you know. The first time you show a child a beautiful parakeet, a beautiful bird, and you say, that is a parakeet, is the last time that child will see that bird for what it is. After that, it's become a mental construct. It's become an idea in your head. And we have been trained to follow these ideas, to follow ritual, to follow a certain pattern. Why we do certain things, nobody really knows, we just do it. When you're doing namaskar, what are you doing? Are you really experiencing the sharanagati, the surrender, when you're doing that? And receiving the blessings, or just going through the motions? Because, if I do it, I'll get something. Right? Mm-hmm. All our religious training is about that. It's stories that are told to you that if you don't do this, this is going to happen to you. In fact, in this book that I was talking about, he says that the true knowledge is only reserved for the real seeker. Right? Because to the others, they need to make the monasteries work. They need money, right, to make the monasteries work, and they need food. So they talk about different types of hell. So if you steal, what is going to happen to you? If you kill, what is going to happen to you? 17 people will come and attack you. The devils will burn you in hell. Your arms and legs will be cut off. Your nose will be burnt. Or you will be kept dismembered. All these scary things. And all the illiterate villagers that live nearby, they really, because they are not into the philosophy, right? They are into the religious part of it. The burning of the incense, the clanging of the bells, praying like that, sitting in front of the God and seeing them do the arti. Oh my God, this is God. They are into that. So if you tell them that the devil will get you, this will get you, out of that fear, they support the monastery. So he asks, why aren't you giving this knowledge to everybody? And to that he replies, there's a young man whom he asks. He says, why didn't you become a student of Rinpoche, Geshe Rinpoche? And he says, when I went and asked him, he took my head and he put it under water until I was struggling. And when the struggling was too much, he lifted me out of it. And he says, what do you want more than anything else? And he says, breath, air. He says, when the thirst for knowledge becomes like this feeling, then you come to me. Because until, this is not for everyone. Nobody wants the facts. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants to know what really happens. It is very comforting to know that when you die, you go to this beautiful place called heaven, and you're surrounded by gods with 3 and 4 heads, who are surrounded by men in robes, and there's angels playing songs there, and there's virgins or whatever. Each religion gives you different ideas, and you believe it. Why? Because you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. I was horrified when I heard that the basis for Christianity is that you have sin. When your essence is only goodness. But beliefs, and especially negative ones, they are very strong. They pull people in much faster. But 2 years ago, I was very curious about this Satyanarayana Puja. And everybody's doing it, and it's in this person now, that person. I got many invitations, one of which I decided to go. And as each story was read out, I got more and more horrified. If you don't do this, your husband will die, your child will be murdered, this thing. If you don't do this, your legs will be cut. You will lose all your money. Do the puja for 7 days and everything will be all right. Quite clearly, this was not written by God. It was written by someone who wants to make a little money on the side. And I can never subscribe to any belief based on fear. Because I know that what I want to feel at all times is that feeling of peace and of love and of caring. Hate, envy, greed, all of these things, they rankle with me. I don't feel nice. Do you feel nice? Do any of you feel nice? But if you examine all your beliefs, and none of us do, okay, what are the various things we believe in? A lot of it is fear-based. A lot of our beliefs are fear-based. And we want to know the facts, right? And we won't believe otherwise because where are the facts? What are the scientists saying? No, consciousness is just the body, just the mind, the biological mind playing tricks on you when you die. Doesn't exist. All those NDEs is the brain. Doesn't exist. Because what are the facts? You can't reproduce it. You can't document it. You can't repeat it again and again and again as a test. Consciousness can never be tested. It can only be known. So is consciousness a fact? It isn't if you believe in the fact, right? Because if you made it a mental construct in your head, anything seen purely from intellect is nothing than a mental construct. For anything to be truly known, you have to bypass the mind and see it from this level. That's when it is known. And in present day, there has become like a blurring between the lines of fact and lies, truth and untruth, what is morally acceptable and not acceptable. There's a complete blurring, and both sides of the plane believe very strongly in a story that has been fed to them, in a story that has been fed to them. If they went to the level of the heart only produces what comes directly from the source. No, we never do that. We never do that. We're quite happy to remain on the surface, to remain with our beliefs, our superstitions, our taboos, which really completely deny the basis of existence. The only reason, the only thing you should be concerned about is consciousness. What do you want to call it? God? Want to call it Brahman? Want to call it the self? Want to call it the source? Want to call it the Atman? Want to call it Barbie doll? Call it what you want. That is the only thing that matters. Yet, it is the last thing everyone is thinking of. Who is thinking of consciousness? Who is worried about understanding or just stopping to think that everything around us consists of the same matter and is nothing other than consciousness manifesting itself? I mean, every day I literally am training myself to sit and look around me and see how everything is the same. It's consciousness in a tree, in a flower, in a book, in a person, in a thought, in an action, in an event. When you see it that way, it is not any different from anything. But we are so collapsed into our tight world of form that we only believe what comes through our senses and what is registered as a series of thoughts which then become what you believe in. Believe, hope and try. These are three words I hate. I believe in charity, right? I'll try to come. I'm not going to come. Whenever someone tells you they're going to try and do something, they're probably not going to do it. They're just halfway measures. Belief is just listening and accepting somebody else's stories. It is not your reality. It is not your truth. And if you're searching for the facts, for searching for the truth, there isn't any. Sorry. You're making a false journey because there is nothing like truth. It just exists moment to moment to moment. And if you really experience yourself as a spiritual being experiencing this biological form, each and every day, in every action that you do, then you know what is the truth, what is real, without ever having to put it in words, because words are not enough to describe the feeling of being one with the universe. Okay, now I've gone a little bit off topic, but it all comes down to the same thing. It comes down to a deeper understanding of what our thoughts are. What are you thinking when you perform certain actions, when you follow a certain religion, when you follow a certain ideology? The facts, the non-facts, the truth, I don't know if we ever take a step back and even think about these things. Some of these things we just do automatically because it has always been done. It is so deeply conditioned from your childhood that it's hard to break out and think of yourself as spirit. And in meditating, for that brief moment, for that brief time, we forget we're in a body. And that is the feeling of connecting to your real inner self, to your ancestors, to your family, to your essence. And that's why we do it. My only purpose, knowledge is fine. Knowledge is fine, wisdom is fine, but it is intellectual. It's only useful if you use it to stay present and to stay happy all the time. My sole goal is to tell everyone that happiness is your birthright and you have to stay happy and figure out a way to bypass the mind and come to your heart where you are always, always happy. Use whatever you have to. Use the deflector sometimes, use the camera to zoom out sometimes, get a global picture sometimes. So many things I keep talking about, throwing your thoughts into baskets. Whatever it is that you need to do. Know yourself. Don't just believe in yourself. That's very light. Know yourself. That is your main objective of being born on this earth. To get back to your source. And the quicker it happens, the less need there will be to enter another biological body. Know yourself. Start the process now. It's a long process. Or it can be instantaneous. Start the process now. Know yourself and feel that happiness and share that love all the time, all the time.